Yo, good people. It's your homie HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. Yes, sir. And if you're new to the program, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're coming live from South Africa, live on YouTube, live on TikTok. Please go find you somewhere to sit down and be able to learn how to heal yourself. I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I'm none other than your homie HerbMan, coming to you live to let you know that you can heal yourself, and you cannot heal yourself unless you know thyself. So we're going to teach you here about your human frame and your human design so that you can be well on your way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness. Okay. And so all you need to understand that this is a free information station. You don't have to pay for anything that you hear today. All you simply got to do is pay attention. How we do that on the HerbMan show is by double tapping that screen and getting us up to 100,000 likes during the live broadcast. All right. So I'm going to work for my money as long as you work for me, for yours. All right. So if you want the information, share and be in tune and be interactive with us. Right. But on top of that, you guys, you got to understand that there's a law of correspondence, a law of return, a law of reciprocity, okay? So it's what you put into something that you get out of something. And so we're going to be putting in everything and have been putting in everything that we possibly can to let you know that you can heal yourself. And we want you to know this because this is just not a cliche saying. It's just not something that people are just out here reverberating or just regurgitating from every and anybody. It's the truth. The reason why Dr. Sebi was able to cure all manners of disease, the reason why he put that in that creative loafing or put that in that little back page in the grocery stores is because he truly believed that he could be successful at curing all manner of diseases. And his mama told him, boy, when you do that, them folk won't come after you. But the bottom line was, how confident do you have to be to say that you can cure all manner of diseases in the early 80s, in the late 70s, in the early 80s in New York City? How goddamn bold can you be? You must have been so confident that you said, I'm going to put in the back page in creative loafing, a newspaper that's in every gas station, every grocery store that folk get, and tell everybody in that little advertisement there, I can cure all manner of diseases. You know why? Because if Dr. Sebi, who was a person who was what you would call a high school dropout, or didn't graduate or go to college, or couldn't read and illiterate and dyslexia and all this, you would say all this stuff about Dr. Sebi, but at the end of the day, he was confident about something he had ran across. There was something that this person had ran across, despite the limited of education, despite the limited of knowledge about health, despite the limited of education about health, despite all of this, he had ran across some kind of information where that stirred up a confidence in him that said that he knew how to cure all this. It didn't matter what you're blind, crippled. It don't matter what you got, one-on-one. The man said, I can do all things, right? And so he must have ran across some information that spawned and inspired that article in that newspaper that later inspired the life of what you would call a Dr. Sebi. Rest in peace to Alfredo Bowman. So what I'm doing is letting you know that that's it. That's it. That's what exciting me, is that I ran across the same information. And I'm not Dr. Sebi. He old enough to be my granddaddy. But I was able to run across the same information. Do you know how much it takes to know what's missing in the human body? There are a lot of people out there selling you herbs. People that sell sea moss ain't herbalists, but they still selling herbal products. There are people out there selling you all kind of stuff, but they don't know what's missing in your body. They can't be doctors. There were folks selling herbs before Sabi. There was folks selling herbs during Sabi, and there was folks selling herbs after Sabi, but they still was not Dr. Sabi. Dr. Laila Africa was born during Dr. Sabi, but did you know Dr. Laila Africa? No, all you knew was Dr. Sabi. You didn't know Laila until after Sabi. Dr. Paul Goss from Atlanta, Georgia was living during Dr. Sabi's years. But did you know something about Paul Goss? Yeah, he was doing this thing. He had the CLR, the CKLR, but at the end of the day, all these people had products, but the most renowned pronoun person is a motherfucker who did not go to school. He ain't no naturopathic doctor. He ain't no this and he ain't no that. He's just somebody who had ran across some information to know the missing pieces. And those missing pieces was able to get him a village in Usha Village and call it Usha Village, and then fly your ass back out there to it, and then have the wherewithal to deal with a Michael Jackson and a Left Eye Lisa Lopez and a this and a that. He ran across some information. What was the information? What's missing in your cells? That if I'm blind, what's missing? If I'm crippled, what's missing? If I got arthritis, what's missing? If I got cancer, what's missing? If I got diabetes, what's missing? If I got high blood pressure, what's missing? And so I'm able to get you what is missing. The doctors don't even know what's missing. The pastor don't know what's missing. So how you gonna get what's missing? So then there needs to be some housekeeping. Okay, some housekeeping that needs to be understood. And so therefore the owner's manual is the best way for you to be able to get that housekeeping, because this housekeeping just doesn't happen esoterically or spiritually. We ain't talking about cleaning up your life and just talking about cleaning up your thought life and just talking about cleaning up your emotions. We ain't just talking about that. Yes, that's inclusive, but we are talking about biologically, you go through a housekeeping process anyway. Biologically, you go through a housekeeping process anyway. So what we're saying is the same thing that's happening within you got to happen outside of you. The same thing that's happening in your internal environment must happen in your external environment, right? But you don't know what's going on. So how can you replicate it in your life if you don't know what's going on inside of you? You take lessons from the micro out into the macro. You take lessons from, that's why they say know thyself. They didn't say know the world. It didn't say know dirt. It didn't say no air. It didn't say no electricity. It didn't say know the car. It didn't say no computers. It didn't say know the weather. It said know thyself. They didn't ask you to know the rhino. It didn't tell you about knowing the zoo animals. It didn't say nothing about knowing the lion. It didn't say nothing about knowing the bear. It didn't say nothing about knowing the plants. It said know thyself. Why would they say that you are the focal to know and not nothing else within the world? Because it's understood that if you guys could really understand your microcosm, you'll be able to have an advantage in the macro. But what we're trying to get you to understand is that you can also learn the macro to know a little bit more about the micro. So either or you take from one another, but they do have to be implied to each level, okay? So now, when you're looking at housekeeping, these are the three things that you got to worry about, right? So the housekeeping is going to require some repair, some things to be removed, okay? So you got repair, remove, and then you got recycle, okay? And this is the way you biologically, you use these three paradigms to biologically do some housekeeping, okay? So the repair is going to be the repair of the cells, right? So there's a lot of cell damage that's happening in the bloodstream. There's a lot of cell damage that happens over the day. Just to keep you alive, there are cells that are dying and cells that are being reborn just to keep you up and going. So we know that there's a lot of cell damage, a lot of cell debris, a lot of all that type of stuff. So we understand the repair level of the cells, right? So it's just like in you have to start to housekeep within you. So there's going to be some things within you that you got to repair. There's some reprogramming, there's some re-engineering that has to happen in order to repair you, because you've been programmed coming in this paradigm that life is like a box of chocolates, or life is just going to be hard as hell, or life is just going to be whatever it is that you started from. But you must understand that your startings is not your endings, okay? And sometimes, and just like all times, I keep trying to tell y'all, every seed needs dirt. There's not one seed on the planet that doesn't need to be covered for a particular amount of days in the first beginning. So that covering, that dirt, that starting out, you can use that as growing medium. Okay, so mama them taught you wrong, and the church said something wrong, and the uncle did you wrong, and cuz did you wrong, and daddy did you wrong, and mama did you wrong, and all of that in the early beginnings of your childhood. Yes, it can program you and it can derail you. But what I'm trying to get you to understand now that you're a little bit older is that you must use the dirt as a growing medium. And see, you must understand the implications of the seed. Is the seed the most important thing, or the environment in which that seed can grow? And so you must understand that if you just got a seed that's just out here in a bad environment, it will not take. The Bible tells you about a seed that's on hard ground. It tells you about a seed that was planted in this particular type of soil, and this particular type of soil. And so you got to be fertile in order to be able to utilize your history. You got to be able to be fertile in order to utilize your upbringing. You got to be able to be fertile in order to utilize that program to get you to where God wants you to be, or where nature wants you to be, or where you want to be. You got to be able to see the dirt as not as a compressor or a cover up of who you are, but a growing medium of who you're going to become. That's the first thing. So we got to repair the cells and the self. Okay? We got to repair the cells and the self. All right? We got to repair the cells and the self, because we know that self is going to go through life and have a whole bunch of damage, self-harm, whole bunch of self-doubt, whole bunch of self-control issues, whole bunch of self-guilt, self-grief, whole bunch of self-delusion, whole bunch of self-attachments, whole bunch of self-desires, whole bunch of self-addictions, whole bunch of self-stuff, right? And so this is the damage that we come in with. We broke up with this girl, we hurt that person, we left this person, we did this to ourselves. So you come in damaged. So there must be repair done. Okay? You come in damaged. Okay? And so a lot of people call this autophagy, right? Autophagy is when your body goes through its recycling process of all of the cell damage and debris in the body. Okay, that's autophagy, right? Another thing that it does is it removes the waste. Okay, it removes the waste. Now you got to understand what I taught you guys a long time ago about time and money. Time is the same thing as money. Money is the same thing as time. So what I mean by that is there's 4 parameters for money. You can spend money, you can make money, you can earn money, and you can waste money. And the same thing you can do with time. You can make time, you can spend time, you can save time, and you can waste time. And so what we're understanding is a lot of time we have to remove the waste from the cells, but we also got to remove the waste from the self. Okay? We got to remove the waste from the self. Right? So this is the waste. We got to remove the waste from the cells and the self. So I'm telling you this because this is the importance of the owner's manual. What are we doing with the owner's manual is we're taking you through the process naturally of you biologically and you psychologically. Okay, you biologically or you physiologically and you psychologically. Remember that there's no disease unless it is psychological first, and then it creates a physiological ramification or result. So what we're trying to do is, while we're trying to attempt to do this inside you, this is what the owner's manual attempted to do is outside of you. So we're going to have you repair this damage that's been done to self by first addressing and detailing and acknowledging what that damage is. We got to get you to recognize it, okay? Once we get you to recognize it, the repair process starts. Then we can get you to remove it. How do we get you to remove it? by meditation and all these types of stuff. So you'll see that fasting and all this type of stuff is a part of autophagy, is a part of allowing you to do this. So I would say intermittent fasting from about 12 to 14 hours will start to allow this to happen cellularly within your body. And then also meditating and sleep will also start this process to happen with the repair, the removal, and also the recycling. So when you want to look at this in your life, you're going to say, okay, he said exercise, he said fast, and he said sleep. Okay, and these are the ways that this thing could also kick into you as well, right? And then we got to do the recycle. And remember what the recycling is, right? So the recycling is the autophagy phase where it's coming in and taking the cell damage, taking all the over left components and recycling them for use for something else, for something new. So your body is going through these three things genetically off the rip. Your body inside of you, your cells, is going through this housekeeping every day, regardless if you believe in it or not. Regardless if you thank God for the cells doing this or not. Regardless if you believe in cell and if you calling on the name of cell, it's still doing it. So you'll see that this doesn't require you to know it, believe it, for it to happen for you. But what happens is when you get sick, when you get down, when you get out, when you get lonely, when you get frustrated, when you get angry, when you get in despair, when you get in your lowest point, you forget about how to make this happen as far as what I like to call initiating it, right? Initiating it. Instead of it just being a byproduct of you being alive and you don't know nothing about it, now you're understanding, hey, look, I'm doing this every day in me. Why can't I do this every day outside of me? If my body internally is repairing me, removing things and recycling things within me, then why can I do that in my life? Why can I remove the waste from what I've learned? If I'm 30 years old, if I'm 20 years old, I can start to differentiate between what's real and what's good and what's bad. I can start to now remove the waste. I can start to now realize that my parents' meal ain't the best meal, that my parents' thoughts ain't the best thought, that my parents' lifestyle wasn't the best lifestyle. I can start thinking for myself to be able then to start to go into a different direction when I get of age, because I start to learn things about me inwardly that's going to help me outwardly in life. And so now if I understand that I'm doing this every day inwardly, there's no reason for me to cause for any kind of fear, any kind of fright, or any kind of weariness about what I can do outside of me. And so the more I start to allow you to understand the amazing workings of you inwardly, hopefully I can get you to realize the power that you have outwardly. So I know that you right now are just concentrating and focusing on what man told you. And right now the machine said they can't fix you. Medicine said they can't fix you. The white coat said he couldn't fix you. And the judge said that they couldn't do nothing about it. And this, that, and the third. And so right now you feel like the powers to be are not in your favor, but we got to talk about your power. It's your power that we got to talk about, not the judges, not the doctor's power, not the jailhouse power, not the wife's power, not the children's power, but your individual power. We got to be able to get you to understand that you are already repairing things. So let's repair yourself. You're already removing things. So let's start to remove things within your external life. You already recycling. Recycling is you're starting to go through life and all the little stuff that got left behind that wasn't repaired or removed, you use as you continue to move forward. So the things that you ain't just got to totally remove out your life. Some of this religious stuff you got to totally remove. Some of this stuff that they talking about, you got to totally remove. But there's going to be some stuff you can keep. And you recycle that information. There's certain things that you can keep about relationships. You can keep certain things, maybe not everything. There's certain things that you can keep about making money or but not everything is true, but you can keep some stuff and you recycle that. And then you start making new ideas for yourself. You start making new beginnings for yourself. You start making a new journey for yourself. And you can do the same thing that the cells is doing in you outside of you. It's the reason why I'm telling you guys this, because I want you to see it, that you're already doing it. Now, the reason why this would stop is because simply we're not giving the body what it needs to perform the action. And some of you guys just simply need what I told you that's required here. All right. Some of you guys just simply need what I told you that's required here. And if you was listening to me, you guys keep tapping out, keep talking. If you keep tapping out, keep talking, you guys. If you was listening to me, I just told y'all what's required. Okay. So for this particular housekeeping that's going on, right? This particular housekeeping, no stress. No stress is one of them, right? A whole foods diet is another, right? Walking, right? A lot of people think you got to run and lift weights to exercise. You don't got to do all that because that's not a natural process. The natural body does not lift weights. The natural body does not lift weights. The natural body does not lift weights. The natural body does not run for long hours of a day. The natural body does not jog all day and run all day. That's what's going to be bad on your knees and on your joints. Okay, it's going to be bad on your knees and on your joints. Even if you lift weights, you'll see a lot of people that lift weights got joint issues, got shoulder issues, rotator cuff issues. They got ligament issues in their elbow. It's because that ain't the natural way to work out. Working out on the weights, you guys, is not a natural way to work out. I know you're mad at me. Jogging, running, lifting weights is not the way that you're supposed to exercise. You're supposed to be exercising in the most natural flow possible in your life. It's the same way with eating your foods. You got to be able to eat your food. Look, I don't care what you eat. The problem ain't what you're eating. The problem is you're not able to be limited at what you're eating. The problem is not the food. It's the problem the person eating the food. It's not what you're eating. It's what's eating you. Okay, so yeah, of course you want to be at the most fruits and vegetable diet as you possibly can if you asking me about a recommendation. But at the end of the day, it's not about your diet. It's about that you can't eat this particular way in a limited format. You can't just eat a few chicken wings. You got to have it every week. You can't just eat a little bit of ground beef. You got to have spaghetti and burgers every day, all day. You can't just eat a little bit of chicken. You got to have it 2 or 3 times a day. And because you can't moderate this particular thing, that's what's making this diet bad, because you're not supposed to have that much meat. You don't need that much meat. Okay, walking is the best exercise. Walking is the best exercise, okay, because it does a spiritual and physical thing. Yes, walking gets you physically into a particular condition, but walking also allows you to be able to submerge yourself into nature. The slow walking allows you to be able to observe and to be able to intake the surroundings instead of just running it out for an intention, watching your clock. Walking allows you to submerge yourself into nature. All right. So no stress, the diet, the walking. Okay. Obviously, we know the proper water. All right. And then we know that sleeping, right? Sleeping is one of the big things here. And this sleeping, again, like I told y'all, you're supposed to be up here into the 10 to 12 hours of sleep. Okay, you're supposed to be up here in the 10 to 12 hours of sleep. Okay, you're supposed to be up in the 12 to 14 hours of intermittent fasting. This is how the body does the repair, the removal, and the recycle. Is what autophagy is, what you call housekeeping, is also proteostasis, right? So if you know anything about proteostasis, simply put, is just protein balancing, right? So you got 3 things that this particular housekeeping is going to do. 3 things that it's going to do, right? So we already know about the repair mechanism and everything about that, and that's going to be in the DNA. Okay, so you got this thing that's going to help balance out the protein. All right, you also got something that's going to help keep the DNA genome together. So your cells go through all of this change, this removal, this repair, this recycle, while still maintaining its DNA genome, while still maintaining its essence, while still maintaining its genetic composition. That's a fascinating thing. So what that's telling you is that you can go through this while still maintaining the purpose within you, while still maintaining your aim, your goal. But you must understand that, yes, the life must go through a maintenance cycle of repair, removal, and recycle. Yes, you're going to go through a particular, if the cells are doing it and the cells are you have to be ready to know how to maintain your body. You can't buy a car and don't know how to take it to go get an oil change. The first lesson any child gonna learn when you buy your car is when to go get the oil change and when to get the tires fixed, because you have to know maintenance. When you get an apartment, you got to know maintenance. When you get a car, you got to know maintenance. You got to know maintenance about your body, you guys. You got to know maintenance about your body. And there are some housekeeping rules that come with life. And every now and then, your body is going to have to sit down somewhere to repair itself, remove the waste, and recycle things. It's just going to have to happen. Any questions? Taking an hour walk in nature now, that's what's helping, Marina. See, right on time. Right on time. See? Right on time. So what you're saying is accurate, but now I have loose skin, so I'm lifting weights, but only 2 to 3 times. I mean, that's kind of because of your engineering. So your program is that you got to look a certain way. So you've been programmed. So, but look, that ain't a bad thing that everybody been programmed. So we all zombies and we're trying to deprogram. Okay. So, welcome to join the club. And I need to get mad at that. But because of your programming, you're trying to look a certain way, and therefore you're going about what you feel like you desire, how you've been programmed to reach that point. You see what I'm trying to say? Is because however you lost weight, you lost it unnaturally. See, and that's why you're having that loose skin, because however it was that you lost the weight, it was an unnatural way to lose weight. That's why you don't look like you need to be looking. Anytime you see somebody got all this skin on them, they lost the weight unnaturally. Anytime you got to go do a lipo, or anytime you got to go do tummy tuck, you're losing that weight unnaturally, which means that there's going to be an unnatural. Now I don't know how long it's going to take for your loose skin, because if you had lost it naturally, then the skin would have stayed tight along the process, and you would have never had to see the loose skin. You see what I'm saying? So now you'll see that as I lost weight unnaturally, now I have to do some unnatural things to look back normal. And you got to do what you got to do, Marina. So no problem with that. She said, "No, I did what you told me." Well, I don't know. I don't know you, so I don't know what I told you. What's a good distance someone should walk? You walk until you walk until you say you finish walking. I mean, it's not about distance; it's about how you feel. How to increase strength without weight? Just So you got to look at your life. User 908, right? So you got to look at, why are you losing strength, or what is it that would make you think that you are losing strength, or why would you want to increase strength, right? So a lot of times in our daily walk, when we was back in our ancestors, even here, I'm in South Africa, these women and these children are carrying buckets of water. They're carrying things on their head. They got all kind of stuff. I mean, they're naturally strong people because of just the existence of life. A natural life will allow you to be able to keep your strength. If you got to carry water from the lake or the river or the natural spring, that's going to keep you naturally strong. But if you round up motherfucking carrying papers all day, yeah, then I understand why your ass need to be strong. So you got to look at what your natural life is that's taking away these things. You got an unnatural life, then yes, you got to do unnatural things to be strong. But if you go back to a natural way of living and go and fetch your water, you got to carry that water. If you got to go and fetch the wood for your fire, then you got to go carry that wood. If you got to go fetch this and you helping the man around the house, then you going to help him with all the shit he got going on. That's going to naturally keep you strong. But if you pushing pins and you pushing and tapping keyboards, you're living an unnatural human life. And in that particular posture, in that sedentary lifestyle, you can lose a lot of things, including your life. Okay, including your life. But I want to get back to Marina. Leg poisoning, Crohn's disease, what to do for leg circulation. Is calisthenics a spiritual practice? Marina Bell said, "Oh, you know me? Nah, I don't know you. I don't know you. I walked and did the sauna and took the gut cleanse." Oh, okay. So you were doing some of my suggestions. Okay, good. Okay, and how long were you doing those things? How can one detox from lead poisoning? I don't know where y'all getting this lead poisoning at, man, but there's a lot of heavy metal stuff, right? So we always tell y'all about the seaweeds, Mafia Shakur. Okay, the seaweeds are very good to help you with heavy metals because that's what they're doing in the ocean. All right, so go ahead and get you some seaweeds, man, some spirulina, chlorella, also some activated charcoal, a lot of that type of stuff. Other than that, bro, you want to do my detox on the website. All right, you can do the 21-day detox. What about riding the bike? Bikes are cool as well, cat. So walking and riding the bike is cool as well. Okay, riding the bike is all right. It's better than running. Running and jogging is too much on the knees and the bones and the joints. All right. So leg circulation, you guys, if you got no problem, Mafia. If you got leg circulation issues, okay? If you got leg circulation issues, that's poor circulation, basically. If you got poor circulation in your legs, that is always going to be a upper circulation problem that's just happening down there. So we already know some of the best herbs for circulation, right? Cayenne pepper, hawthorn berry, hibiscus, Arjuna bark, burdock root, man. There's so many different herbs that can help move stuff. It ain't even funny, but the best one would be a little cayenne. You can start there. If you definitely need some help with that circulation problem, you can email us and we'll get you a concoction that you can be able to do. But the best thing, man, for circulation is to work out, to remove. So when you're working out, that means doing your squats, right? So I do squats. I do 100 squats a day. I do 100 push-ups a day. All right. And then I'm just now starting to do some little push-ups. Okay. So I'm doing a little push-ups on the corner of the on the corner of the rail out here, just to kind of add a little something to that, because I've been doing 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups for years now. So at the end of the day, you want to be able to do something that promotes circulation, right? So again, you can start to do squats, or you can start to do stair climbs, okay? Stair climbs and things of that nature will help out with leg circulation, help out with back problems, knee problems, etc., core problems, all that type of stuff. Squats and doing stair lifts, going up the steps, okay? If you got steps in your house, it'll help out with back problems, knee problems, and core issues. Yeah, but watch out for trying to add strength. See, that's y'all little sneak ass way. Marino, I know what you're trying to do. That's y'all little sneak ass way of trying to tell me, well, do I need some protein? You don't need no motherfucking protein. You don't need no strength. You know what I'm saying? You got strength. You know what I mean? All you need to do is keep toning and keep your body toned. Strength is going to come, but you got to be exercising to do that. But you don't have to lift weights. Do something in your life. Like if you got a backyard, there may be some work that need to be done out there. Go get you some pots of dirt and move it and do your work. The lifting of the weights is in your life. But do you need protein? No. An elephant don't get no meat. Now, if you can beat an elephant, then we can talk about meat. A gorilla don't get no meat. So if you can, but a gorilla sometimes will eat a little something if they got to. But an elephant does not eat any meat. And when you can beat that brute strength for strength, then we could talk about meat and protein. The protein comes from the fruits and vegetables, period. Nuts, seeds, everything. I mean, all three foods is in everything. So all three foods is going to be fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. Pretty much everything got a little bit of everything. Even to the Irish moss and the bladderwrack. These are all whole foods. And this is what I'm telling you about a whole food diet. When I put up here whole food diet, that's what I'm talking about. That means that whatever you're eating is going to have a percentage of carbs, proteins, and fats. That's a whole food. Okay. So the reason why Irish moss is so good, because Irish moss have a percentage of carbs, a percentage of fats, and a percentage of proteins. This is what they're talking about when they're talking about whole food. They ain't talking about a food that just eat, or they saying whole food. I guess you just eat the food whole. I know that because they ain't explaining this stuff to you that we can get stuck right there. But that is not it, you guys. That's why I said good information, wrong application. These people are telling us to have truth. They're not giving you really what you're supposed to be knowing. A whole food is a food that has all three levels of what they would consider food. So a whole food is something that has a little carbohydrate, little protein, and a little fat. And believe it or not, most foods have this. Most foods have this, but when you're looking at genetically modified organisms, when you're looking at some of the cash crops and some of the corn and the yeast and the flour and all that type of stuff that we're dealing with, that's when they don't have this whole food quantity. But for the most part, when you eat fruits and vegetables and things like that, it should have a propensity of carbs, proteins, and fats. So I want you guys to understand this. You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Please keep tapping, I'll keep talking, you guys. If you're interested in your owner's manual, please DM us and we'll get you the information that you need. All right, so anytime you hear somebody talking about whole foods, you must understand that they're talking about it pertaining to one item, one food item, having some carbohydrates in it, some protein in it, and some fat in it. That's a whole food, okay? That's a whole food. Okay, so now when you're doing your research and your Googling, you start looking up whole foods and then look at what percentage of carbohydrate, protein, and fat does this food contain. And that when you know that that's a whole food. And that's why Irish moss is so successful at what it does for you, because it has a propensity to have all three of these levels of food in it to create that whole food environment within your body. So your body gets so much nutrition from it, almost like moringa. Moringa the same way. Moringa has a propensity of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. So it's considered the most nutritious plant on the planet. But you got moringa, you got Irish moss, and you got a few other herbs like alfalfa, nettles. What else do I use? It's a lot of nutritional herbs out there, but the top one is alfalfa and moringa. Okay. All right. Who else? Love me some alfalfa? Yes. So if you are trying to build muscle, that's the herb you need is alfalfa. If you're trying to build muscle without doing the weights and without doing the protein shakes, alfalfa. Okay. Alfalfa. Thank you, TC Morris. I would like to learn more about herbology and human health. Any book recommendations? No. You have to, there's no book recommendations, okay? When you start reading books, Cloud J, okay, Cloud J, it's not that I'm against reading books, because obviously I've read books, right? But what I've realized is that what a book makes you do, if you're not real conscious about watching yourself, is then you're just going to be a carbon copy of the author. You won't have your own understanding, your own research, your own clinical trials, clinical studies. You'll be doing everything behind that book. So you'll be just another David Hoffman if all you're going to read is clinical herbalism, the book called Clinical Herbalism, right? Or medical herbalism. That's David Hoffman's book, right? You'll just be another David Hoffman. A lot of you guys are just trying to be another Layla Africa. I see all y'all with Layla Africa book. So you're just going to be another carbon copy, but you don't know this shit. You got to keep that book in your hand for you to treat somebody. You don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys are just trying to be another Phyllis Light or another Rosemary Gladstar or another Michael Woods or another Michael Tiara, right? I know all of these folks. You know what I'm trying to say? A lot of y'all trying to be another Dr. Saban. Dr. Saban didn't even write a book. He died without writing the book. So whoever writing this book, you better hope, because it ain't Saban. So the only book that I would get from anybody with Saban is the first wife, my aunt. If my aunt wrote a book, I would get her book because she was actually with Saban. Everybody else, I wouldn't mess with them. I don't give a damn who you with. So at the end of the day, these people, you're only going to be a carbon copy of the book. So what I'm saying is you can read, but do not connect. Do not join any team of pool of thought. Create your own understanding. Read this book and then go behind that book and read this one. Go behind that one and read this one. Go behind that one and read this one. And the reason why I read Chinese and then I went to India, read that, and then I went from India to Africa and read that one, because I didn't want to join. I didn't want to just be no traditional Chinese medicine practitioner like a lot of y'all trying to do. I didn't want to just be no Ayurvedic medical practitioner like all y'all trying to do. I didn't want to just be no Sangoma like the African. I didn't want to just do that. I didn't want to just be no herbalist on the corner with an herb shop in Western herbalism. So even though I did those things, I didn't want to just do those things. So therefore, I read different articles and different books so that it would take this theory and then this theory would throw me off that theory, right? And put me on a new theory. And then that way, That way you get refuted so much that you'll see that this shit you can't go by. If this person say apple is good, then you read a book say that apple is bad, then you read a book say that orange is good, then you read a book say orange is bad, then it's up to you to eat that apple and orange. And you can't treat people off the book. You have to have your own personal experience. So the real thing is to have your own personal experience. Hey, now respect that not to be a carbon copy of the author. Yes, everybody that's doing this stuff now is not putting in the work. They're not going to biochemistry because a lot of folks that's doing this don't want to go to school for it, but then they also don't want to put the time in. You know, even though I didn't go to school to be a doctor, I still did the time. You know what I'm saying? I still did the sacrifice. I still did the time. I still did the schooling. I still did the studying. I just didn't go to their school to do it. So you can't skip. Oh, I can learn that. I got people that have been around me for years that come, oh, I can get that. It might take you 6 years. It'll take me a year. And you still ain't shit to this day. You know why? Because you can't come in here and cut somebody short. This athlete been practicing all their life. Javante Davis and Terrence Crawford keep telling y'all that they've been fighting since they were 7. And for some reason, you think Earl Spence going to come in at 17 and he just going to be considered the best. You see? Whatever Canelo been fighting since they were 7 years old. You see, the earlier these folks been fighting, that's why they champions. The later they've been fighting, they ain't doing nothing. But the earlier, them your champion. Clarissa Shields, all these folks been fighting since they were babies. So you can't just come in here and think that because you can swing on Devontae Wilder, come in here all late, and now you can't get back on your steed once you get knocked out. Because you have to learn everything about this game. This game of life, it starts in the beginning. You can't jump in and then think that you can just go ahead and, oh, because I seen Saban and I seen HerbMan, I think I can do it. No, there was something that happened to Saban on his light path. On his light path, there was a time when it was on the journey that the light shined, right? That the rays of the light shine on Saban during a journey, and it changed Saban. Okay, it changed them, and you'll see transition. You'll see how his name is Alfredo Bowman, and then he got changed to Dr. Saban. It was the same way when Saul got changed to Paul, right? It's the same way when Jesus Christ's name got changed to Christ Jesus. It's the same way where Shanti Renda got changed to HerbMan. There's a time on the path where transition and a light will shine on you to where you no longer the person that you are. So you can't ask for this. You can't ask for it. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for it. So that's the difference. I hate to explain that like that because I don't like to judge it, but it's the difference between talent and gift. Some people are very talented. This is my gift. Makes sense. The knowledge gave a lot through the experience. Yes, but you got to start somewhere, brother. Foundational knowledge. Everybody ain't got to be starting at where I'm doing, okay? You just start where you at. You start where you at about what you're trying to do. Everybody's not supposed to be a herbalist. Everybody's just supposed to be able to take care of themselves. Okay, that's it. Everybody doesn't need to learn this stuff to teach other people. You just need to learn it for yourself. So there are things in your backyard. There's things in your front yard that you just need to know for you to take care of you. You don't need to know because everybody can't come in your yard. So you don't need to know everything, and then you might not want to give everything to your community. So all you need to be concerned with is you. And if that's the case, then you don't need to know a whole bunch. You just need to know how to take care of you. Do you eat all fruit and vegetables, or do you only eat selected foods? That's up to you. I'm not big on what you eat. I'm big on how much of it that you eat. Okay, Kalisha, I'm never going to be big on what you eat. I'm big on how much of it that you eat. I eat 1 time a day. Okay, that's how much I eat. I eat 1 time a day. These folks ain't be looking at me crazy, but I eat 1 time a day. Okay, and when I eat that 1 time, whether I eat at breakfast, whether I eat at lunch, or whether I eat at dinner, it is that 1 time, and that's gonna be it. And you see, again, I'm not withering away, you guys. I mean, I'm just trying to get y'all to understand. I don't want to show my body on here now, but I ain't no slim joker, but I ain't no fat joker. But I'm just trying to say, I'm not withering away. One time a day. I've been doing this for years. Okay. On top of the fact that I get up every day at 46 years old and I'm gonna do 100 squats and 100 push-ups and a couple of push-ups. I mean pull-ups right now that I'm doing. But other than that, that's it. So he work out, he walk, and he doing the work, and he doing the and he's only just eat one time a day. And I don't even drink that much water like that. But I'm not withering away. You see? I'm not withering away. Like I said, I ain't no small guy, but I'm not withering away one time a day at 46 years old. I've been doing this for years now. I'm not withering away. I got a little gut right there still. See that? Got a little gut right there still. Ain't nobody withering away. So what is it that you need? What is it that you're trying to say you need? All you need is a limited mindset. Then you can eat whatever you want to. You can eat fruits, vegetables, meat. You can eat whatever you want to if you are able to be moderate. So the thing ain't about what you're eating, is that the fact that you don't know how much of it to eat. Okay? Yes, sir. What does a meal look like to you? Anything. Shit. When you eat one time a day, I don't give a damn what it is. You just want it. But I'm not around here thinking about food. I'm not around. And look, I got time on my hand. Y'all busy. Y'all at work. But for your break from work, you got to go eat. Do not eat unless you're hungry. Don't eat just because it's time to eat. You eat because you're hungry. And what I realized is that when I eat that one time a day, that has satisfied me mentally. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes for your stomach to send that signal to your brain that you're full. I want y'all to listen to this. Hey. Whoops. Be quiet. It'll take 30 to 45 minutes for the signal to come from your stomach to your brain that you're full. So the trick is eat slow, eat one time a day, eat slow, eat plentiful, and you'll see that if you slow down the eating, if you eat McDonald's, if you got two swallows and two chews on a swallow, you know what I mean? So you're not, of course, if it takes 30 to 45 minutes for the signal to go there, that means that you got 30 to 45 minutes to eat as much as you possibly can before that signal says you're full. You don't need to do that. So you eat slower. If you eat that one meal slower, it'll encapsulate that 30 to 45 minutes. And by the time you know it, I'm full off of one meal. Once you get the full signal and you ain't thinking about food all goddamn day because you're so bored that you ain't got nothing else to do but to do a food break, you got to have other stuff you got to be doing in your life. Okay? You got to have other stuff you got to be doing in your life. Okay? Eat to live, not live to eat. Yes. Eating is not the main thing of your life. It's not the main thing of the day. Thank you. That's good info. Kalisha, yes. Okay. Glass of water before meal 2. Does that help with being full quicker? Yes. You drink a glass of warm water. Okay. Warm water. When I'm talking about warm water, I really mean hot water. But I know y'all mad at the hot water, so you got to do warm water. This ain't room temperature. Okay. Let me explain this real quick, you guys. Please keep tapping and I'll keep talking. Please keep tapping and I'll keep talking. Let's get us up to 100,000 likes, you guys. All right. So now look at this. I'm finna explain this. Yay. Just because I'm live don't mean y'all get live. All right. So now you got to understand that there's a temperature in you, 98.6 degrees. Right. So if you're doing room temperature water, okay, everybody be talking about the room temperature. So let's say your room temperature is 75 degrees. Okay. Better yet, let's call it 73. Okay, your room temperature is 73 degrees. You know, it's summertime, you know, so you ain't gonna let it be 75 and 80. So your little room temperature is 73. Now, this ain't rocket science. So 96 to 73. So do you think your body, do you think your inside of your body is thinking this room temperature? Or do you think the inside of your body said this cold water? I'm asking y'all. Because I want to get rid of this stuff, man. Y'all be thinking that this shit funny. This stuff is not funny. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. I drink my stuff room temperature. You study coming to me like you're doing everything right, and half of that shit you're doing is wrong. Good information, wrong application. Room temperature to your body is cold water. Room temperature water to your body is cold water. It might not be to your, because you've been programmed to think that this is cold water is ice water. You're programmed, but your body internally, your cells is not programmed. Room temperature water to your body is cold water. Okay? So again, cold water constricts. Cold water slows the digestive process down. So even if you're drinking room temperature water, you did better than the cold, but you still ain't on point with what you should be doing. So we try to tell you to drink warm water, but it really should be hot water. You really should be drinking coffee water without the coffee. You should be sipping on coffee water, hot ass water is what you should be doing before you eat. Just like how you do before you eat. Before people eat, they drink coffee. After people eat, they drink coffee. They drink tea. A lot of people in a lot of different countries do that, including America. Old folks, if you go to your great-great-grandmama's house after they feed them and stuff, if the waiter was to come by and say, "Excuse me, ma'am, would you like coffee?" I guarantee your great-great-grandma be like, "Yeah, sugar." You're like, "Grandma, you don't be drinking no coffee." Yeah, they do. It helps the digestive process. But instead of putting a tea bag in the water or put a coffee bag in the water, just drink the water hot, and that will move the food. And so if you do this 30 minutes to an hour before you eat your food, then you're going to create the movement. If you do this 30 minutes to an hour after you eat your food, you're going to create the movement. So it's not room temperature, it's hot water. You sip on the hot water, sip on it. Okay? You sip on the hot water. Hot water, we're not trying to tell you to drink hot water for hydration. We're telling you to drink hot water for digestion. We're not telling you to drink hot water for hydration. This ain't, I got to be drinking that water hot. I'm thirsty as hell. Well, then that ain't what you want. But when you're talking about digestion, that water should be helping digestion. Okay? That water should be helping digestion. If you drink warm water to hot water in the morning, you'll go and yeah, for BM action. There you go, for bowel movement. Yes, that's perfectly correct. Real motivation. Can you also do this before bed? Yeah, you can do it before bed if that's what you want to do. That's okay. It's not gonna hurt you to do it before bed. Or you can do it in the morning. I like to do it first thing in the morning because I'm up and I need to go ahead and release. Okay. But you can do it at night too, so that you can go ahead and get a head start. So that's fine. All right. Anything else? So you'll see that now we're talking about this clearing out, right? This clearing out, this housekeeping. All right. So we understand that the body is doing this from the biological level now and the physiological level. And now we're understanding why the owner's manual is so important to help us do it from a psychological level. The clearing out of the emotions, the repairing of the trauma. Okay, the clearing out of the emotion. Okay, the housekeeping process is the clearing out, okay, of the old. So we're gonna say the clearing out of the deadly emotions. Okay, the clearing out of the deadly emotions, of the trauma, of the negative thoughts. Okay, so now you understand a little better this subject, right? You understand a little better why the owner's manual is so important, because we're learning biologically, cosmologically wise, how to be able to understand the process you take a body through to get it to everlasting. And what I'm trying to do is not run and chase diseases, but we're chasing after the death consciousness, right? So we must understand is that you got to have a clearing out of these deadly emotions that are causing a lot of this stuff. Because once you start clearing out a lot of this toxicity, then guess what? See, when you're looking at happiness, right? When we're trying to get you guys to understand what happiness is, happiness, again, comes from serotonin. And your oxytocin. Well, what balances out cortisol? Okay, so when we're looking at cortisol right here, cortisol being at the bottom, okay, because this is your awake state, right, which is the root, okay, and then you got your melatonin. This is the sleep state, okay. and this is the pineal. Okay, but then right below it, you got something right here. It's called oxytocin. This oxytocin is what's going to balance out that cortisol. Okay, so if you're trying to balance out your cortisol, then you must understand that you literally biologically, the thing that balances out cortisol, hormonal balance, hormonal regulation comes from the oxytocin, right? But this comes from how you feel, meaning how you think about things, where your mind is about life, right? So I can't just do that removal thing to you internally without you being able to do it externally. You're nature-based inventions, and when you're coming to natural traditional medicine, you must give over and surrender over your whole particular being. Okay, so this ain't about medicine going in and robbing Peter to pay Paul and still fucking up other things in your body later. This is about you eradicating the issue at that particular spot, but then forever, so you don't ever have to visit that issue again. And the way that you do that is a holistic perspective that you provide the client, and that's what we're doing. Hey, what's going on? So once you understand this, then you'll understand why we need for you to let go of these emotions and let go of this trauma. Why we would need for you to let go of these thoughts, because once we get these herbs in you, that's going to help out with the repair, the removal, and the recycle. We also need for this to be done too on the mental side, on the spiritual side, in the mind side, in the emotional side of life. So you'll see that if you're looking at the 4 elements, you got fire, earth, air, and water. Earth represents the body. Okay, earth represents the body. So it's that one constant thing that's there. Earth represents your body, but that body is submerged in air, in water, and in fire. That body is submerged in mental, spiritual, and emotional environmental stimuli. That body on earth, okay, fire, air, earth, and water. Earth represents the body. The other 3 things is the environment that body is in. So that's the sun, the air, and the water around that body. So the environment is going to be conducive to that body. If the environment, if the sun don't shine, if the air don't blow, and if the water don't come, then that body won't grow. So when you're looking at the 4 elements, 3 of them is pertaining to environment, 1 of them is pertaining to you. And it's the same thing when it comes to your healing. And inside of you is that the environment is conducive to that cell. So there are things that we got to understand is missing or that's needed in the environment internally and externally to change the trajectory of this person's health and outlook on life. Remember that we're not chasing disease, we're chasing death. Okay? All right? So understanding that, clearing out. So the owner's manual is peeping you to your spiritual tendencies. Okay, so with your birthday, we're able to tell you about your spiritual tendencies, your physical tendencies. These are just tendencies. Some people don't run into them. Some people have never run into them. But these are the tendencies coming from a cosmological understanding of your design, right? So now we get the spiritual side of your tendencies, and we're saying, hey, if you ever run into these deadly emotions, if you ever run into these emotional traumas, if you ever run into these toxic thoughts, because you have a tendency of it, if you ever run into them, then we got to clear these out, because these things also can be a festering of the toxicity within the body. People say, well, cancer don't come from emotions. No, that's true. Cancer comes from the cells being uncontrollable, right? Uncontrollable division of cells. But the environment, the actual environment that's created to create that cancer cell is what we're actually doing. I ain't worried about the cancer cell itself. I'm worried about the environment. If I change the environment, I'll change this cell. The cells are only programmed from the environment. Like I said, you can't blame Rico if his life hard. If Rico life is hard in the ghetto, Rico gonna bust your fucking head because the environment created Rico. But if you take Rico out of the hood and put him in another environment, that environment will create Rico. And it'll be a totally different Rico. So when I was out here fucked up on the street by myself doing my thing, then I was the worst HerbMan you want to meet. But then I got away from that environment and became the best HerbMan you want to meet because I changed the environment, not me. I'm still the same motherfucker. But the environment is making me utilize my functionalities in a different way. Same person, but different functionality. Same person using the power in a different way. Same person, but using the power differently now. Because the environment that I'm in, the environment that I created for myself now allows me to be able to be that which I want to be versus that which I was just had to be. So the environment. So now you understand, okay, so the man knows biologically what needs to happen. What he's trying to do is get us to mimic what's going on inside, outside. And for a funky, measly $50, we can help you do that with your owner's manual. If you are interested in the owner's manual, please DM me. We'll get you the information that you need. Okay? So that's the clearing out. So once we do this, the cells do this, then this is what we're doing. So we're giving you, we're going to connect your physical issues to your spiritual tendencies. And then we're going to say, okay, while we're getting rid of these things internally, let's get rid of these things externally. So we're going to be doing breathing exercises. And when we release, we're going to be also saying things to release these emotions. So when you breathe out in exhalation, you're going to be breathing out in exhalation, but in your thought life, you're going to be saying, I release this stress and anxiety. I release this guilt and unforgiveness. I release this self-control issues. I release this grief and depression. I release this doubt and trust issues. I release this attachment issues. I release this delusion and loneliness. And then you start getting that stuff out. So you'll see that it's 7 levels, but it's 9 numbers, right? It's basically 12 digits. It's a 12-digit numbering system. So in your life path number, people don't understand this, but in your life path number, let me touch on this real quick, you guys. Keep tapping out, keep talking. Keep tapping out, keep talking, you guys. Let's get us up to 100K. So in your life path number, people don't recognize this, okay? But life path numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 22, 33. Count those numbers up and how many you got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers, okay? 12 numbers in the life path number. So even though this is 12 numbers, it's 7 levels. So all of these numbers go together, okay? 369, 369, okay? 369, 9 and 3 is 12. They all go together. 12 means 3. Okay, 12 means 3. Okay, anytime that you see a 3 means that you went through the trinity of the beginning, the middle, and the end of something. So a 3 has the beginning, the middle, and the end. That's what 3 represents, the trinity, the beginning, the middle, and the end, the male, the female, and the offspring, the reproduction, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay, so 3 represents this. And so if you got a 9, all you have is trinity 3 times. You've seen the beginning, the middle, and the end of something. And so what we're trying to do is to get you through this process so that you can be able to experience this trinity. All right, so now in understanding that, you have 7 levels, okay, of 12 numbers. But these numbers don't go. So the 7th chakra is your pituitary gland, not the crown chakra. The 9th chakra is the pituitary gland because you got these numbers going to be packed in. So right here, you got 1, 2, 3, and 8, 4, and 6, 5, 7, 9. And that's how you number the chakras. So we're able to understand these things and make a correction and put them into their proper perspective in order to treat you the way that you need to be treated when it comes to health in this way. Nature-based interventions is getting you the most exposure to nature as we possibly can to change your paradigm. And that's all you need. You need to get out of the workspace. You need to retreat out of the home. You need to get out of whatever it is that's adding to your issue. And you just need to get away and create the environment for what you're trying to become. Okay, you can't be healed around a whole bunch of doubters. You can't be rich around a whole bunch of pofo. You're gonna have to get around an environment, not even people, just people, places, and things that are just fueling that healing, just fueling that financial change, that's fueling that relationship that you're needing. You got to get an environment, because there's no way around it. If the environment is influencing you, and that the environment is influencing your sales, then you can't get around changing your environment. Any questions? Any question? Because you're going to doctors, you're going to herbalists, and nobody is doing nothing about your environment. If anybody that you hear talking about herbs, talking about health, and is not talking about environment, and they're just trying to go towards your sales, they don't know what they're talking about. You can't change the sale unless you change the environment. Okay? And you guys got to know what that environment is. You got to know what that environment is conducive of. Come here, Wilson. Come on, show the people, Wilson. Come here, Wilson. I got to show my Wilson. Come on, little dude. I got to show my little Wilson. Come on, little Zulu. Yes, sir. Tell her, hey. Say, hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Yes, sir. That's my little Wilson right there now. Yes, sir. Got my little warrior right here, man. Got my little warrior right here doing big things. You already know it. Got the little warrior right here doing big things. So we must understand these things. And so again, changing the environment, older man, getting children, growing. You get younger with age, but you got to be fit for this life. And that's why I keep trying to tell my brothers and my sisters, a woman, you should choose a woman for her mind. Woman, you should choose a man for his body. Men are choosing women for their body, and vice versa. But a man should be chosen for his body because he has to be physically fit. If I'm supposed to be procreating until I'm dead, I got to be physically fit until I'm dead. Women choose men that are physically fit to endure. And men choose women that are mentally fit, spiritually fit, to help you in this paradigm. Okay? Somebody said that's what's up, little Woosie Warrior. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's it, you guys. That's what we need to know. That's the whole thing about the owner's manual and this housekeeping finasco, about why it is that we need to get into you mentally. I know people don't like that part of the holistic process. They'd rather for you to just give me my herbs and let me go about my business. But I'm here to tell you, man, unless you're just trying to pay Woosie's college fee, unless you're trying to pay DJ Wanley's college fee, come in, Wanley. Come on. Let me just go and put y'all on there. Just in case y'all just want to donate to the college fund, then keep on being ignorant. Keep on being ignorant, and out of your ignorance, we'll keep on creating industry, and you can keep on paying for our college tuitions. It don't really matter. But if you're trying to be rid of this thing, know thyself, educate you on yourself and being healthy, and you can only do this one time. You don't need nobody else. You wouldn't need me no longer. Then that's the best investment for you, okay? But if you still want to just spend your little measly money, then look, we're going to be like the commercial. Go ahead and donate us. Go on, use the Cash App, PayPal, do what you got to do, because we need your money too if you want to do it that way. But if you really are about your healing and your health, thank you, boy. If you really are about your healing and your health, you guys, know thyself. You can heal yourself. You don't need to keep spending your money on this and on that. You keep asking me about blood pressure. Yes, I fucking know how to treat your blood pressure, but I don't know your motherfucking head. And if you over there stressing, then it ain't gonna do nothing. You would never ever get me to put my products in your hand for you to say that my shit don't work. It's your mind and it's your mentality. I just had to refund somebody on here a while ago, talking slick. She don't know who I am. You must not have been watching me. I don't need your motherfucking money, and I definitely don't need your apprehension or sarcasm. So if you think that I'm city slicking, scamming anything, that's the wrong approach to even come work with me, period. So guess what, honey? You get your money back. Go find you somebody else to play with. I don't play with other folks' children. So we're not going to play with you grown folks. We're not going to play with y'all. I don't know y'all. I'm going to be stern, firm, and strict. on you. Stop playing tricks with yourself. You can't come over here and try to play tricks with me that you've been playing on yourself and with your mama now. I'm not going to tolerate and take those mental games that you've been playing in your own life on me. They're not going to work. I can smell shit from a long mile away. And I'm not going to allow you to play your games with me. Okay? So you get that refund back, young lady. You get your mind right and you come to me with some real talk, then you can work with me. Outside of that, we don't play no games with the lames. All right? Peace, peace, peace. We don't play no game with the lane. Yeah, I know she probably on here right now. Like, damn, he gave my money back. Yeah, because you talking that bullshit, nigga. I don't need no motherfucking money from you, nigga. Hell you talking about? I'm trying to help you. I don't need nothing from you. I don't want to take nothing from you. We don't need to do that. I'm good over here. Play no game with no lames now. What's the difference between going through the Trinity once versus going through it 3 times? Wholeness. Wholeness, right? Because you're supposed to be able to go through it as many times as you want to. That's a great question. But look, you need to go through this as many times as you want to, because the thing about it is that we get trapped into the spiral. Remember that we talked about this yesterday. So you get trapped into the spiral. Well, the only free state here is the 9. The 9 is the most high state. The 9 is the state where you can direct. So that means that you can take control of the next spiralization and where you're going. But we get stuck in the rat race. See, anything outside of the 9, you still in the maze. Anything from it being 9. So even if you 7, my third eye open, I'm woke, and you're still in the maze. Because that's 7. That's perspective. That's third eye. My third eye is open. You're still in the maze. Okay, because remember that there's 3 levels of consciousness. There's subconsciousness, there's consciousness, and then there's superconsciousness, right? So you got to be at consciousness to superconsciousness. You can't be at just breaking through. So a lot of the third eye people are at the 7th level, and they're not out of the matrix yet. I'll be the first one to see it. So you must understand that you're still trapped in here, and the only free spot, the only free will is at 9. And because at this point you're able to direct, you're able to paint your own spiral, paint your own picture, paint your own thing. But as long as we'll continue to keep frustrating in and out of these 7 through 9s, then we'll still be in the matrix. So if you keep hitting that 9, you can hit that everlasting. That everlasting, that's everlasting. That's infinite amount of times. Okay? That's infinite amount of times. Anybody else got anything else? Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. Keep tapping. I'll keep talking. We got about 45 minutes. It looks like, you guys. We got about 80,000 likes. I appreciate all of the love, all of the concern. You guys keep tapping. I'll keep talking. All right. So now, when you understand what actually we're asking of you, now you can get it. We're trying to cut off cortisol, and we're trying to activate melatonin and oxytocin, and then we're also trying to activate serotonin. Okay. I don't necessarily need dopamine. Dopamine is fine in this place, but I don't necessarily need it. But these 3 we need. We need serotonin, oxytocin, and melatonin. And here is your happiness. Which one promotes happiness? Serotonin. Happiness is serotonin. Oxytocin is the love. Okay. So that sense of touch, that sense of belonging, that sense of intimacy, right? That bonding, that community, knowing that you are of value. You can't die right now. We need you. You can't die right now. You're of value. You're needed. You're wanted. You still have work to do. Right? So we must fix what's broken. We must get into the repair, the removal, and the recycle. Okay? And we'll move into the next paradigm using things that work and removing things that don't. Okay? So this is the philosophy and what we're trying to do. Lay you down on the bed, give you some herbs to help you relax, give you some things that help you relax the nervous system, relax the stressors going on in the body, relax the sympathetic nervous system response, relax the overactive immune system. Whatever's going on in your body, we're trying to relax it or either stimulate it depending on what your problem is. But for the majority of us, there's a relaxation, there's a overstimulation in our sympathetic nervous system that must be relaxed. So if you are cortisol, and I just told you needed 10 to 12 hours of sleep, y'all didn't believe that. So if you're on cortisol and cortisol is taking up most of your day, cortisol, you're needing it for the fight or flight, but you don't need it chronically. And you have so many decisions to make every day, so many things that are hampering you every day that's keeping you under this overstimulated sympathetic nervous response, and it's keeping you overly stimulated in your immune response, and that's what's causing the inflammation and the pain just keep coming every day. It's because you're under chronic stress and chronic oppression, depression, and chronic toxicity, and we need to get it out of you, and medications only add to this. They don't take it away. How do I remove, repair, and recycle my life outside? What does repairing my life looks like externally? We'll help you with that with your owner's manual. How does removing the waste? What is the waste in my life, and what does that look like? Things that don't mean you know well. What's the difference from an asset and a liability? Okay, if you're not renting your car out and you still paying a car note, okay, it becomes a liability, right? If you have somebody with you that can't help you, she becomes a liability. He becomes a liability. But an asset is somebody that can bring something to the table with you, right? That can work with you, that increases your particular assets overall. So when somebody's bringing something to the table that can increase your worth and value, that becomes an asset. People, places, and things can do that for you. So we have a lot of stuff in our life that are just not assets. We got a lot of old baggage and a lot of old weight in our life and a lot of old memories and a lot of old trauma that are just not assets. It has become debt to your soul, to your spirit. It's become baggage. It's become weight to your soul and to your spirit. And when you get sick, you got to be able, you want to do this before you get sick. You want to throw this shit out here before you get sick. That way you never do. But if you do, you must understand that we got to clean house. There must be a clearing out. Do we need cortisol every day? There's no way around it. Just to get up in the morning out of the bed, cortisol has been activated. So you need cortisol every day during acute stress, okay? Acute stress is healthy. Let me write this down for you guys. Acute stress is healthy, okay? Acute stress is healthy. Okay? Acute stress is healthy. You need cortisol for that, okay? But chronic stress creates disease. Okay? Acute stress is healthy. Every now and then I got to go do some shit. Every now and then I got to go get some stuff. Every now and then I get inundated with an environmental stimuli. I got a problem I got to solve. I got an issue I got to clear up. That's fine. That's acute. That's every now and then. Chronic is what we're doing because, again, you got so many decisions to make every day and you don't have a timeless moment. And I'm telling you to create the timeless moments within you. So when you get your owner's manual, that's what I'm trying to get you to do. We're going to put all of these pieces of the puzzle together for you. And then you need to create the timeless moment to put all of it together where you ain't thinking about nothing else but yourself. When you're sick, you need to think about yourself. When you're poor, you need to think about yourself. When you're alone, you need to think about yourself. These are times that have been created for you to be focusing on yourself. And in all your suffering, that's an opportunity for transformation. So remember that and don't get too frustrated. Acute stress is healthy. Chronic stress will cause a disease. All right. So do you have breathing exercise videos? I've done so many breathing exercise videos on here, man. I don't, but I will create one just for you. Okay. I don't have them, but I'll create one just for you. But all I do is a 30 deep breaths in the nose, out the mouth, right? So you want to breathe in, creating that diaphragmatic move. You breathe out, right? But in my breathing out, I add humming to it, okay? So because you're supposed to exhale longer than you inhale. Quite naturally, because of our bad breathing habits and our bad posture, we are now currently inhaling longer than we exhale. So that means that you're keeping in carbon dioxide, aka carbonic acid. So you're keeping in the acid, you're keeping in a lot of these toxins just through your lungs. Your lungs could help you out a lot, but you got to be able to properly breathe. So it's 30 deep breaths in the nose, out of the mouth. I just add the humming on now. Adding the humming elongates the exhalation, which allow me now to get more carbon dioxide out than I'm getting in oxygen. Okay, that's going to help out with getting the toxins out of the body. Also, adding in the humming is a vibration that's going to add into the vagal tone, creating the relaxation throughout the body, because your vagal nerve is laying on almost all of your main organs. Okay, so it's laying across the heart and it's laying across the diaphragm. So it goes across the heart and then it lays across the diaphragm. It's up here into your collarbone, all that type of stuff. So it's taking a monitor of all things, but it can also send something. So that particular humming that you hear is vibrational. It's sending a vibe telling everything to relax and calm down. And you'll see that if you do this, you don't need high blood pressure medication. You'll see that if you do this, you don't need high blood sugar medication. Do you not know that when you are high strung, when you get into this chronic stress, then not only do your blood pressure go up, but your blood sugar go up as well? Why? Because adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline and cortisol raises your heart rate, your blood pressure, and your blood sugar, and your breathing. And guess what it lowers? Anybody knows what it lowers? Anybody knows what it lowers? Chronic stress raises your heart rate, raises your blood sugar, raises your heartbeat, raises your breathing. Okay, but guess what it lowers? Your immune system. So when you're under chronic stress, yes, you're ready to go, but you're also ready to be sick. Any other questions? TC said immunity. Yes, you're correct, TC. Yeah, Musa, it's the immunity. Lower your immunity. Okay, lower your immunity. So just by calming down, just by relaxing and retreating and calming down and sleeping and doing these types of things, not only can you lower your blood pressure, but you can lower your heart rate, lower your breathing, and lower your blood sugar. Boom, bada boom. Yep, boom, bada boom. Somebody said, wow, didn't know that. Yes, what herbs can help sleep and relax nervous system, hard time falling asleep? Yeah, get your owner's manual and then we'll put something together for you, okay? Get your owner's manual and we'll put something together for you because you need something particular to you, all right? But there's a lot of herbs that can help out with relaxation and sleep. It's just all about how big the problem is. But here's the thing. You shouldn't have to take something to go to sleep. Okay, so a lot of people who have sleep problems like to just keep taking the herbs every night to go to sleep. A lot of people who got constipation problems like to keep taking the herbs just to poop. You can't do that. You cannot do that. When you take herbs just to poop, like you can't poop until you take a herb or take a pill, then guess what? Your colon is already checked out. Your colon is already checked out. You might as well go on down now and see what they can do for you and make you wear a pamper. Your colon has already been on vacation. See, when you don't allow them to do their job, then they go on vacation. So if you don't allow your pineal gland to do its job and put you to sleep, sis, then, so if I give you the herb, you're going to just take the herbs every night. That ain't good for you. The herbs is good, but having to do that is still not good for you. You shouldn't have to take anything to go to sleep. So what we need for you to do then is we need for you to exercise, right? Exercise before you eat. Before you eat your meal, exercise, then eat, and then see if you can go to sleep. Okay? Don't exercise in the morning. If you got a problem going to sleep, exercise before your last meal of the day, and then eat your last meal of the day. And let's see, can we put your ass to sleep? We want you to be dog tired. I need for you to go to bed dog tired. Because if you're not tired, you won't sleep. And there's a process to sleep, you guys. You must start getting to the process of understanding the process of sleep. You can't just jump in the bed and go to sleep. You must rest, relax, and then sleep. Okay? You guys, this is going to be on YouTube as well. If you missed this, you can go to YouTube. This is going to be recorded. As soon as I get finished, it's going to be uploaded, okay? So guess what? Rest, relaxation leads to sleep. You can't just do the end one. So a lot of you guys are just jumping straight off the phone because you see what time it is, trying to go to sleep. It ain't going to happen. A lot of you trying to go to sleep with the TV on. It ain't going to happen. So you got to promote, remember, an environment that's creating the sleep. So maybe around, if I go to bed at 10, then maybe around 8, 9, the lights are going out. 8, 9, the social media, the TV is going out. That way I got about 30 minutes to an hour of rest and relaxation in the dark. And then 10, I'm gone. You see what I'm saying? You don't need to take nothing to go to sleep. We gotta change your day, and we can help you do that with your owner's manual. Is your YouTube the same name here? Yes, at Love HerbMan on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. Rain sounds with black screen on YouTube. Nah, man, I wouldn't say do nothing real motivation. Like, that's what I'm saying. We're not used to our own sounds. You're not used to hearing your own breathing and your own heartbeat. And that's why you're so artificial. So we need artificial help. It's like you can't go to sleep yourself, so somebody got to continue to keep singing the sleep song. No, motherfucker, you gotta go to sleep yourself. Okay? Love HerbMan.
No, he just was himself.
Oh, okay. Yep. So you must understand that, you guys. All right. Any questions thus far? All right. So rest, relaxation leads to sleep. Without the rest, without the relaxation, you're only going to get minimal sleep. Okay. And you should have 10 to 12 hours of sleep. So change your life to make that happen. Around here, we go to bed around 8 o'clock, wake up around 6:37. So if you think about that, you guys, that's about 10 to 12 hours of sleep. That's around 11 hours of sleep. Go to bed at 8. Okay. And then waking up around 6:37 is about 11 hours of sleep. Wrap your day around it. Okay. Wrap your life around it. So we live different lives, my friend. I know a prodigal select. That's why you fucked up, and I ain't. You know what I'm saying? But I used to live your life. So you can escape it, pimp. You know what I mean? Don't try to don't try to cry to me about no life, pimp. I'm the last person you want to cry about, okay? Because I done been to the penitentiary and all kind of stuff. So nobody want to hear your tears and crying. I done did 3 days bread and water. I don't nobody want to hear your tears and crying. I done been a bum on the street. I don't nobody want to hear your tears and crying. Talking about we live a different life. Motherfucker, you better escape prison. I don't give a fuck what life you live in. You still in jail. Escape. That's your job, is to escape. Okay? Yes, you will. You on here crying. On here crying, talking about we live 2 different lives. What life you living? I'm up on the same capitalism you up on. I'm up on the same stress you up on. I'm up on the same, gotta pay bills just like you. What's different, pimp? Your ass better escape prison. Okay, well then there you go, man. Yeah, you got to get to sleep. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I know. That's what you're talking about. I'm trying to tell you. You got to get to sleep. Okay. But I don't take no excuses, product. I don't give a fuck where you from, who you is, pimp. I don't care. We ain't taking no excuses. Get this in your life. Otherwise, your life is going to be shortened, bro. We got to be able to create this environment, period, point blank. Change your life so that you can make all this stuff be a part of it. You need that sleep, bro. You'll be better off with that amount of sleep, okay? You need that. Okay? You need that. All right, greetings, man. What's happening? And thank you for the quick response. Oh, yeah, no problem. If you said we need about 10 hours of sleep, but I have heard people who only need about 3 to 4. But is that you, Andy, the one? People gonna say all kind of stuff. It's because they program their body like that. There's people who have programmed their body to live off of that amount of sleep. It doesn't mean that that's normal. Because you got to look at when you're in utopia. When you're in utopia, why? So let me ask you something. And this gonna go back to nature really quick. Why does the bear hibernate for 6 months? Why does the bear hibernate for 6 months? A big old bear, it needs everything. It needs all its food, all its whatever. But for 6 months, it can do without working. It can do without this. It's fasting the longest out of anybody we know. A bear fast. Y'all keep talking about fasting, but the bear beating you out on the fast. So how could the bow be as big as a house in 1 minute, but then also be disciplined enough to be able to fast the next minute? How could the bow be so consumptive in nature? Its natural basic instinct is to consume, but then at the same very thing, it has an innate ability to not consume for damn near 6 months straight. It is because it is not programmed differently. It's programmed to be a bear. And the program to be a bear is no matter how consumptive your ass is, you're going to be sleeping for 6 months because it's programmed in you. But now if we reprogram the bow and we send the bow to your education and try to make the bow be a person, then the bow ain't going to never hibernate. Now you got the biggest bow in the world, and now you got bows dead at a shorter lifespan because we made the bow unnatural because we pre-programmed and we reprogrammed the bow. But in this natural selection, the bow came with extreme excessiveness and extreme hibernation to offset its own natural abilities. But when you be pre-programmed and programmed the way that you are, then you think 3 to 4 hours is good, and then you start just like an alcoholic. If you drink alcohol enough, your body will need alcohol to live. My granddaddy was like that. Drunk alcohol so long that if you take the alcohol away from him, he's gonna die. So he got to stay drinking alcohol to live. It's the same way with 3 to 4 hours of sleep. If you program your body to do that, then hell, you waking up 3 to 4 hours and you feel refreshed. But that don't mean that you're refreshed. It's a feeling. It's not the truth. You know yourself by nature. What is your natural design versus what you was programmed to live on? You see what I'm saying? I could live on 2 or 3 hours of sleep if you program me. I could not sleep at all if you program me. Shit, I can sit in the studio all night, baby, if you program me, which means I just got to keep going every night. Next thing you know, I'll be sleeping the first couple of weeks. Next thing you know, then I'll make it through a night. Then I'll make it through 2 nights. Then next thing you know, I'm up every night, all night. It don't take nothing long to be programmed. Okay, Andy the one. So program yourself to do the right things healthy-wise. You need 10 to 12. Just like a plant needs 10 to 12 hours of sunlight, you need 10 to 12 hours of sleep as well. That way we balance out this melatonin and cortisol exchange. That way we balance out this melatonin, oxytocin to cortisol exchange. Because if you're sleeping in it, and if you're at peace half of the day, and if you're sleeping at peace, at rest, relaxation, in love, comfortable, and you ain't worried about shit for half of that day, then that's the balancing act to this awakeness. And you got to be up to do some stuff, we know. But if you can balance this out with love, peace, and serenity, and sitting down somewhere and chilling, you ain't always got to do something. You ain't running your life down into the ground. Then guess what? We balance this out. And now cortisol doesn't kill us. It's just playing its role. We're not excessive. We're not chronic. It's just playing its role. So the job of the human species is to try to find this contentment, peace, love, rest, relaxation, and sleep in the bosom of nature without all of this wants, needs, and desires and decisions every day. To this is so true. I'm in some weird mess now. It's okay. You know, we'll help you. Okay. So everybody understand that thus far, right? So that's all the owner's manual is about, you guys. If you're interested in the owner's manual, please DM us. We'll get you the information that you need. But it's all about understanding this part of life. Just describing to you this part of your life. You're so inundated with what was put in front of you. But it's some stuff about your life that you haven't been told. It's some stuff about your life that you haven't understood. And it's okay. Everybody want to kind of just live their life. They don't really want to know. Some people don't want to know. That's fine. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that there's some things about your life that you should know. You don't need to know the future, but you do need to know your present. You don't need to know the future, but you do need to understand your past. And the owner's manual can help you understand the past and help you understand your present so that you can welcome in the future without no trepidations. Without no trepidations, okay? We want you to welcome in tomorrow. Welcome him in. Now, if a person feel like they're going to be broke tomorrow too, then they're going to hate tomorrow too. So we got to be able to welcome him in, and we got to be able to show you how to change your paradigm. And we can show you how to do this because, again, The housekeeping is being done internally. We just got to do it externally. Okay? We just got to do it externally. Anybody else? Anybody got any questions, you guys? If you don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the live right now. I just messaged you for the info. Thank you. Thank you, Deja. If you guys know anybody else that need any information on the owner's manual, please DM me and we will get you guys that information, okay? I do this every day, all day, you guys. We're coming on tomorrow, again, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys got questions, email me. You can call me on WhatsApp. Save my contact. You can call me on WhatsApp. I am in South Africa right now. And you can call me between the times of 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we come on between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., you can call me if you need help with your owner's manual. We are talking to people all across the world right now. So I got people on here from the UK. I got people on here from Europe. I got people on here from Asia. I got people on here from South America. I got people on here from America. I got people on here from Jamaica. I got people on here from everywhere. So when you get your owner's manual, okay, it normally takes 24-hour turnaround to get your owner's manual consultation email. It will come as an e-format. It is not a book. It's the book on you, but it's going to come as an email format. When you get your email format with all this information, the foods, the herbs, the spiritual tendencies, the physical tendencies, your characteristics, your cell activity, you get this little map right here mapping you, and what you get all of this in your little owner's manual for that funky measly $50. When you get it, if you have any questions or concerns, please do not be scared of me. Yes, I'm gonna whip your ass in the spirit. That's okay. We need that, and we'll laugh in the end, as long as we're helping you go towards your health journey. I love you guys, man, and it's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Please go tell somebody to go tell somebody about your homie HerbMan, and until next time, love HerbMan. All right, you guys, if you need me, I'm here for you. Please DM me. Peace. Woosay! Yes, sir.
Someone said had some family.